Welcome to From Collieries to Couture, brought to you by Welsh heritage menswear brand candidly. I'm your host, Brandon Richards, and today I am joined by Sam Locke, emerging actor from South Wales, where we talk everything heritage, style and identity. Enjoy. Welcome back to another episode of From Collieries to Couture, brought to you by Welsh menswear heritage brand candidly. And today, I'm very pleased to say, I am joined by emerging actor from South Wales, Sam Locke.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
No problem
Thanks
at all.
for having me.
How you been today?
Good. Travelled down from Devon was nice. Up to see my partner. Usually would be coming from Merthyr up, but coming from Devon down today. So yeah, it went well. The travel down, thankfully.
You mentioned Merthyr. Being from Merthyr, how much does Merthyr mean to you? Of course, you went to arts college there in Merthyr. How much does the area mean to you at all?
Merthyr means a lot. But I think I realised how much Merthyr meant to me when I moved away. I did 2020 to 2023 in Leicester. And then every time I'd come back and visit, or when I moved back, there was a real sense of like, I'm proud that I'm from here.
Yeah.
And that sort of came to me without me even realising. And I can't quite put my finger on why it means so much to me, or one reason in particular, but it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super proud to be from Merthyr and Wales.
How was that experience up in Leicester? You were there for 3 years for university, wasn't it?
3 years for uni
Was
at
that
De
a big
Montfort.
part?
Pardon?
Was that a big part of your journey, you'd say?
Oh yeah. I met some wicked people. I carried on studying performing arts there. So at that point, it was only the end of my time in uni I started TV and film as a branch of my career. So up to for the majority of that point and for the majority of my career, I was performing arts. So I was doing that up there.
As mentioned, you're now a rapid emerging actor within the industry. Where did acting start for you?
First day, year 7, I think. First
Really?
drama class, year 7. Went in there, typical structure of a drama class. Teacher talks for 10, 15 minutes. We go off to our own thing, come back at the end and perform. Most people didn't want to perform at the end, whereas I weirdly really, really wanted to. And literally from that point, it kicked on. Me and my mate used to do like live storytelling.
Yeah.
And then that moved to just doing drama some more, did it for GCSE, did well in that, then moved down the college route and then to uni. But it started in year 7.
So you pretty much just took it as it came.
Yeah.
So you enjoyed it. It started just off as a small little enjoyment.
Yeah.
Took a step further.
Because I knew there was a reason I wanted to do it for GCSE. I wouldn't just do it for GCSE if I didn't want to. To be fair, people sometimes pick drama because it's the easy way out. But that weren't me. I picked it because I enjoyed it, loved it, did well in it. And I knew like there's a reason why this is sticking with me and I've just got to pursue it. And I think from maybe year 10, apart from jobs I've had to do, I don't think I've looked down another career path, really. Maybe like photography or one part, but it's always been creative.
So have you always been motivated to go into the acting industry? Of course, coming from a working class background, what do you think has kept you motivated in such a competitive industry?
Enjoying it, enjoying what I do and fighting hard for something I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I can safely say to you, and I think people would agree, if you don't actually like something, you're probably not going to fight that hard for it.
Yeah.
But I liked it, so I fought, and that's what's kept me motivated. I've got family members that I want to make proud. I've got people in Merthyr. I want to make Merthyr as a whole proud. And I think with the release coming in January, I think for a reason we might talk about later, they will be. Yeah. But I think that making people proud and sticking to my guns and almost proving myself right. Like I said, I've known I've wanted to do this for a long time.
And where did that motivation come from? Obviously, we just touched on it. But where did that, because you've got to remember, especially within that competitive industry, not everyone has that motivation where it's, this is what I've got to do. I'm going to make my whole town proud. Where does that derive from?
Being Welsh, probably. It feels like it's always been in me in regards to performing and acting. Don't get me wrong, I'm not passionate about everything on earth, but acting and performing, I am. And I think naturally being born a passionate person, plus being from Wales, plus being from the valleys, I think all those little parts of the recipe make a whole of a really passionate person, which I am. And I think just that amalgamation of things is why I'm so passionate. That's probably the best way I can answer that, to be fair.
That's good enough for me. So a huge production. You've been on a huge project, 28 years later.
Yeah.
How was the process like in gaining the role? Such a huge production.
Every single process of every single project is different, but this one took about 3 months from start to finish. Well, I had the audition come through. I didn't realise the scale of it until my nan told me. She was the one on the day that helped me with the tape. Did that well, sent it off, and close to a month later, we got the email saying they'd like me to come down and do a group workshop, which doesn't happen that much. When you do self-tapes, not only is it a win to get a self-tape at the start, but then you might never hear back, you might get rejection from the first stage, but luckily I didn't, and they wanted me to come down for a group workshop. Did that, really sick day. 30 really talented people in that room, plus Danny Boyle was there, Nia DaCosta was there, who directs the second one coming out in Jan now, Bone Temple. So it was daunting, but really fun. Did that, waited another best part of a month, then got called down to Des Hamilton's office in London. Yeah. They took over the casting for the project. Did a one-to-one session with him, and then maybe about 2 weeks after that, I found out I booked the role.
Wow.
And I was in the same living room I did the first audition. It was a full circle moment, and a proud one as well.
Yeah, most definitely.
But it was long, challenging on the mental stamina.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because I imagine you're very much in jeopardy a lot. You're thinking, have I done this? Have I gotten that? You're being told to come down to London just as on a whim. How is that on the mental toll? Have you just got to stay focused? Have you just got to almost be tunnel visioned in that way?
A mixture of both, because, for example, when my ethos is when I get a tape come through, that is a chance for me to act. I see it as an audition for whatever project it is, but also I see it as an hour or two practice. So I do that, send off the tape, and then I've taught myself, and it's been taught to a lot of actors to like forget about it, let it go. Yeah. Because the more you deep dive and think about that consistently, either the rejection's going to be a lot harder for you, or you're just going to like take your focus elsewhere from other tapes that might come in. So it was hard letting it go, then come back to it for the next round, then let it go again, then come back to it again. So the throwing it away and bringing it back like a yo-yo, that was tough.
Is it a skill, do you feel, that you have to learn in the industry? Definitely a skill.
Yeah. Not only to handle rejection, but also to throw it away and forget about it. But that being said, there obviously are, like there's things I auditioned for recently that I'm like still thinking about. Because again, you've got to, man, that's part of the joy of the job as well.
It's the buzz.
That sort of delusional optimism that you might actually book it. That's where the excitement comes in. You can't fully throw it away, because where's the joy in the career then?
That's how you got it here in the first place.
Yeah.
Got it in the first place. So onto the role, on 28 years later, the role of Jimmy Fox.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot went into that role. How physically demanding? Just give us a little insight onto that role.
It was physically demanding. The first instalment, 28 years, was the more physically demanding. We appear at the end in quite a outlandish, parkour-y, Power Rangers-esque scene. We did about a week, just over a week, maybe a week and 2 days stunt training, where all of us Jimmies were together. And it wasn't just, I think I now know this in hindsight, but it wasn't just to practice and get sort of trained up physically, but it was also a really good way for us Jimmies to gel. Yeah. Because coming to the Bone Temple then, the second installment coming out in Jan, we needed that togetherness, because that is where the majority of our performing happens. The first one is to introduce us, to give a bit of a gnarly ending, but we were in the last 2 minutes of it, whereas the story of the second one effectively is told through the jimmies. So the synergy and togetherness from stunt training helped us with the second one, but the physicality, the majority of the physicality was for the end of Danny's film, the first one.
And does it take more on the mental rather than the physical? Because like you said, there's a lot that's going into the production. There's a lot that's going into all the jimmies together. How much does it take on the mental toll? Or again, are you just fully involved? You're fully in there as part of the job. You can get fully indoctrinated into it.
Yeah, I think the main toll on the brain was more realising the calibre of thing that I've just got myself in. Like boy from Merthyr now in 28 years later. That was probably the most challenging thing to get over, and realising, right, I've got a job to do now. Yeah. Like, I'm quite good at that. I'm quite good at the professionalism side of it and not getting too sort of up in the clouds about it, but it's almost hard not to for a little bit. The physicality side, they were, like, I remember maybe 5 days into the stunt training, I jarred. For the rest of that day and the next day, I couldn't really do anything. And I was seeing all them jumping around, flipping and that. And I was just like, I really want to do that, but I've, really hurt my knee. So I think that was the only taxing thing physically, like potential injuries or being injured in it. It's like when, like a footballer, for example, when they get injured, they're just going to sit on the sidelines and for like a day and a half. I sat just not being able to train, which was a bit crap on the brain, but then you've just got to zone out, see the bigger picture.
Yeah, it's part of the trials and tribulations of the production. So you was part of another big production, Itopia. How was that experience as a whole? How did it compare to 28 years later?
Itopia for S4C was great. That was, when did I shoot that? Early 2023 maybe. And it doesn't compare really in terms of the amount I was needed, size of role, size of production. Itopia is a really, really successful S4C show. Really good team on it, really professional, great actors. Lisa Guion, I've shot a short film with earlier on in the year. That's coming out next year. So I met some nice people on there, but it's hard to compare the both because the scale is just, 1 to 100,
Completely different.
But I guess the similarities are they were both about infected and zombies, so that's quite a funny thing. One of my first jobs and one of my biggest jobs have both been a post-apocalyptic drama, effectively.
You're fitting a theme.
It seems it.
And of course, you're part of BBC One drama The Way as PC Ryan. Yeah. Of course, directed by Welsh cultural figure Michael Sheen.
The legend.
What was that like as an experience?
That was great. And it was funny because when I was doing that, I was looking around and being like, my God,
that was it.
This is the big moment. And then a year later, I'm doing 28. But yeah, that was huge. Like, I loved Itopia, but The Way was when I first proper thought, okay, this is where I'm meant to be. Obviously, being directed by Michael Sheen and being etched into the history of his first directorial project, huge. That's a part of history now. The first thing he's ever directed, little Sam Locke's been in. Working with Sophie Melville every day that I was on set because I was her little sidekick character. She's amazing, Sophie Melville. Talented, really talented woman. Whoever's watching this, if you don't know Sophie Melville, get to know. She's a queen of the stage, kills it on screen. And just being surrounded by that calibre of actor was great. And I think being on The Way really set me up for not feeling like I was drowning on 28. Like there was a level of like, okay, I can do this on 28. I'd say thanks to The Way, because that production was huge. They shut streets in Newport down for it, put loads of essays supporting artists, loads of crew. in every regard. That production was huge in itself, and like I said, that set me up for 28 then, I think.
And how was it working with Michael Sheen? Has he had much influence on you culturally, professionally? If any?
I love his passion, and I feel like a bit of that's in me. The vigour he speaks with and stuff. So working with him on The Way was really nice, and him as a director is quite nice. How you'd expect Michael Sheen to be is how Michael Sheen is. When he'd call cut, he's never one to sit back and let his second AD do the talking. He's straight up on the chair on set, pretty much acting the scene out with you. And when you get in direction from Michael Sheen, you're gonna listen, you know. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it wasn't a case of like there wasn't any part of me that wasn't gonna listen to that man.
Yeah.
And thankfully I did, and thankfully I had the chance to be in his production. There was a moment in the table read before we started shooting where all the cast are together, and we read the script. All of us, everyone says their parts, but Michael was doing the stage directions. And if you've seen The Way, the majority of the start of the first episode isn't so much acting, it's more imagery.
Yeah.
And obviously on the page, imagery is text. And when you've got Michael Sheen reading the text, like, for example, it was like, flames come out like dragon's fire. And you can imagine how he says that.
Yeah.
And it was just great to hear that in person, knowing that I'm going to be putting that, making it a reality.
Into a fruition.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was really cool. That was a big moment for me.
I bet. So you've worked with some amazing actors, just like you mentioned. Any others that come to mind as maybe give you a moment that's influenced you, or again just give you sort of like a moment, like you said with Michael Sheen, just something that sparks something within you?
Jack O'Connell.
Really?
Hands down. Jack O'Connell, the leader of the Jimmy Gang, co-lead of the Born Temple. Worked with him pretty much every day I was on set for the Born Temple. Unfathomably talented, really down to earth. Are you familiar with Jack O'Connell's work?
No, not particularly.
He was big role in Skins, just played Remick in Sinners. And he's a proper geezer in Skins and things, and he's a proper geezer in real life. But then he just knows how to switch it on and deliver some breathtaking performances. A thing I learned from him, I guess, and I'll take forward, there was a day that we were shooting in a barn, which you'll see, and I needed to come forward and deliver a line. And we did it for about 4 takes up to the point. And I delivered it the same each time, and he pulled me to the side quickly before the next take, and he was like, Sam, you've given them 4 of exactly what they want. Fuck about a bit.
Yeah.
Have a laugh. So that caused me, if Jack O'Connell's saying it to me, same with Michael, I'm gonna listen, like I'm a sponge. I'm Sam Locke from Merthyr, learning on the job. So I'm gonna listen. And yeah, he said that to me, and then for the next 5-6 takes, I just said something different every time. Added a bit of fun to it. It was good. Who knows what take they'll take and what'll make the cut. But I think that was a real moment of like, Sam, just let it go a bit. You've given them what they want. Have fun.
And also you belong there as well. Because it's the sense of belonging. Like, imagine that being almost like an imposter syndrome in a way. Not that you haven't got the talent to be there, but almost that feeling of, right, I belong here now.
Yeah. And I think Danny Boyle, when we were working on his film, for the brief time we were working on his film, the first instalment, when we were at Cheddar Gorge, he had this real ability to make everyone feel as if they belonged. And I feel as if that was helpful because it grounded me, and it made me realise, okay, we're here for the goal of making a Danny Boyle blockbuster here. Don't be afraid, you're here for a reason. We've cast you. Do what we know you're good at. That was the vibe I got from him. So, there was imposter syndrome, but that quickly faded away, I think. Pretty fast, due to how comfortable they made us on set.
Just to bring it back to Merthyr, of course an area rich in heritage and identity.
Yeah.
How does it feel to contribute towards that? Because now, Sam, you are, I know it might feel like everything's coming at you quite fast, but you are a contribution towards that.
Hopefully to be etched into Merthyr's history, a history that's already so, like you say, full of heritage, so rich. To be a part of Merthyr in some ways is brilliant in any capacity. And even now that I'm, you know, if you, it might sound self-centered, but if you Google my name, in the first 2 lines, I think Merthyr Tydfil comes up.
Yeah.
That feels special to me. And another thing that's really cool is they cast 28 years later regionally, which means the characters were written regionally, which means one of us is from Wales, one of us is from Scotland, one of us is from Ireland. And I get to speak like this in the film. I don't put on an accent. They wanted authentic Merthyr Valley's accent in it. So the fact that when people around the world are going to watch 28, they're going to hear, you know, a Valley's accent. And that's rare. And I'm super proud that I'm the one to do that and sort of effectively carry the Welsh flag on my back.
That's special though, Sam. Again, it was such a big production and it's going to be seen by so many eyeballs. Being an example of Welsh identity.
Yeah.
How much that must mean a lot to you.
So much. Proud of.
And of course, it's going to, again, broaden people's minds around the world about Merthyr, but even more particularly, people within Merthyr.
Yeah.
I think now, Sam, for a young kid growing up in Merthyr who, like yourself, started an acting lesson in year 7 and enjoyed it, you're now becoming a massive inspiration towards that generation.
I hope I am.
Just like that.
Yeah. I've already done some nice talks with college students who were previously on my on the course that I was doing, and that'll continue. But like you said, yeah, hopefully I can be a source of inspiration. It sounds quite cliche, but like, you can do it if you put your mind to it, type beat. And Valleys suffers quite heavily from small town syndrome, Merthyr specifically. I know a lot of people who maybe wanted to do the same thing I did, but their parents shut them down, or they were too scared to be made fun of by their peers. So I hope that I can inspire people to sort of break that mold a little bit. And if you enjoy it, do it. Enjoy the spontaneity of this industry, and just work hard. Don't let the fire inside you die, I think.
I think we're starting to see almost a shift now, culturally, especially within the creative generation. This new generation is now, I think, because there's more examples like yourself, like many other people within the industry, especially within South Wales, you're starting to see more examples, which you're seeing now the next generation are more confident to do so.
Yeah.
And again, I'm almost repeating the same question, but how do you feel to contribute towards the next next phase? Again, we're doing it in our own way here at Cambrensis. How do you feel yourself to contribute towards that?
It does feel great. It does. And you're right. I feel as if the arts or creativity in South Wales is flourishing a little bit now. After don't get me wrong, I'm not naive. There's always been creativity in South Wales, as there is everywhere. But it does feel as if it's on a bit of an increase right now. Hopefully that continues, and like you say, hopefully I can be a contributor to that and inspire more people to keep doing it. And I'm young, man. We're all young in this room. Like, we're all gonna keep doing it. It's not as if we do one thing and then that's our contribution. I've got so much in me that I wanna achieve. I wanna go places, and I ultimately wanna bring Merthyr with me all the way. So I feel like if people are going to carry that and bring that sort of energy and utilise the sort of push that creativity has at the moment, I think South Wales has got a bright creative future ahead. That's what I'm getting from it.
No, I think I'm on the same page with you there, Sam, because I think it's the attitude as well that's been brought up with this increase. It's people like yourself, people like us here at Cambrensis. We're really pushing it and bringing everyone up with us. I think that's a massive thing right now, and I think, again, it might derive from the Welsh identity, which we touched on earlier, but we're starting to bring a whole almost force with us, and almost a culture, I think.
Culture. Yeah. I think as well, more, I hope, but I think it is happening, the more families are coming round to the idea of their sons, daughters doing more creative things, because chuck it back maybe 30 years ago, it was very regimented. You do this and only this. Where now there's a culture of opportunity. There's a culture of making going on, and I feel as if like I alluded to earlier, like maybe now if someone wanted to go into acting, hopefully their parents would be more willing to come round to the idea than even 10 years ago. I've got friends who didn't really kick on in this industry because maybe their parents or their family members didn't quite give them the backing that I'm fortunate that I had. So I'm hoping through this success and through this culture, bringing creativity forward, that the older generations give the younger generations a bit more freedom.
Well, they'll have no choice
to express. Realistically, no. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
To digress, Sam, of course, we've got the production coming out in January, but what can we expect to see from Sam Locke in the future, short term and long term?
Success, hopefully, consistent work. People who know me in person know I've got it within me, and that ain't going to end. Like, if you follow my journey from even now until the future, the drive and the passion is going to continue. I'd love to carry on working in TV and film. Obviously, I've got so much aspirations in there. I'd love to get back to stage and do more consistent stage work, just performing, and hopefully with a bit of consistency. But yeah, hard work, passion, and drive.
Continue to put Merthyr on the map.
Yeah, carry the torch of Merthyr with me everywhere I go. Quite literally. Yeah.
But I think that's a beautiful way to finish. Sam, thank you
very
so
much,
man. Thank you very much for watching. I've been your host, Brandon Richards. Make sure to sign into the Cambrensis community newsletter for everything involving the podcast.